Oh wow! Wait, Max, this is actually like your full-on.
I know, it's my debut.
We've got a very exciting returning guest to the channel.
It was actually a year ago since Come Dine Me, wasn't it?
Oh, was it actually?
Oh my gosh, yeah. First one was in January, I think.
Yeah, so you lost the Come Down With Me, didn't you?
Oh, I can't remember now, actually, from memory. This doesn't serve me too well.
I think Max came, what, last, was it? Yeah.
But I did go first, which obviously
Mr. Mini-Moon.
the ratings weren't
Which you did offer to. You did offer to go first.
I know, but there was like...
You were insistent on going first.
It was weird that you won and it's your channel. I don't know, it's weird.
Anyways, Maxie is back on the channel.
Hey.
And we had McDonald's.
And we've had a Mackey's.
We've been friends with Max now for...
5 years?
Nearly 6 years.
Nearly 6 years.
5.5 years probably.
We've been through some real highs and lows.
What are the lows?
No, what I meant is we've journeyed the highs and lows of life together.
Right,
Do you know what I mean? Like we've been through some amazing seasons, some not so good seasons.
Do you not remember that time when you punched Rach in the face?
Yeah, I was going to say, when the great falling out of 2020.
Okay, so Max has now left Brum. Where are you and what are you doing?
I'm in London because I am studying
the big city.
a Masters in Broadcast Journalism.
Oh!
Because I want to be working in radio.
Nice.
That's the simple
Come
answer.
on.
So if anyone in the comments has any contacts, you know, in the industry, let me know.
Hit me up.
You never waste an
Media.
opportunity to network. That's what they say.
There were many things that we could chat about with Max today.
Yes.
But the topic we want to focus on is
Confidence.
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 And stepping out.
No, let's say that with more confidence now.
Okay. And the topic is
Confidence! Or a lack of.
In our case.
Okay, so I guess a simple question to start is, would you say you're a confident person?
Would I? I'm going to say mixed
Okay.
response.
Go on.
Because
Out of 10.
out of 10. See, I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay.
5 or 6. People think I'm confident because... Oh, I've had people say to me that they thought I was confident. Because if you're someone who's quite like jokey or a little bit extroverted, then you come across as like quite confident. But then internal confidence, which is like confidence in my own abilities to do things, has always been a struggle, which is like, you know, I think since school that's been a struggle of like believing in myself. But it's definitely been improving, particularly in the last year or two, particularly as a man. Like, you're supposed to be confident, and people want you to like know who you are and be self-assured and walk into a room and own the room and whatever, and it's like, hi.
Yeah. No, because I do think whether you're a girl or a guy, basically there are so many like expectations just put on you, aren't there, from society of like, this is what a man should look like, this is what a woman should behave or be like. And if you don't feel like you're meeting those like standards, then it is quite easy to then lack confidence.
Yeah. Because my thing is like, I mean, I've chatted to you guys before, but I've always struggled with like masculinity and like being like the, I suppose, the stereotypical man. And then when I feel like I don't match that standard, then you lack the confidence because you're like, oh, I'm not the same as everyone else.
I think it's such a weird thing because, like you say, in society there's all these expectations put onto men, women for different reasons. I'd say 90%, if not more, people don't feel like they match up to the image of a woman or the image of a man.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do they exist?
Like when you're saying over the years you feel like you have moved towards feeling more confident, like how's that happened?
I think I realised how unconfident I was because I think in conversations I have with people, they're always like, "Cool, you don't back yourself, do you?" Or like, I mean, I particularly think you said it to me quite a few times of like, not like that in that language, but you'll make it clear to me like, Max, you got to back yourself. Like, you're always so hard on yourself. And my parents always say like, "Oh, you're so hard on yourself, Max." I think once I realised, oh, not everyone kind of views himself in that way, and like constantly knocks himself down because it's like your internal kind of monologue of like, you're never reaching that standard that you set for yourself, or you're comparing yourself. And
just say, I do think this is so fascinating coming from you, because I do think if you know Max, and maybe even people watching this who know Max, you are genuinely like the like example of someone who is so confident. I don't think anyone would ever think that inwardly you sometimes lack confidence. So it's like, so it's actually like so interesting to hear from the perspective of someone who is outwardly super confident, actually how you're feeling internally.
That is like the classic cliche of like, you know, you can be someone who's like outwardly like life and soul, and then inwardly is like deeply as in inwardly is like hasn't got the same confidence, but also I'm just like working on trying to recognise when I'm done things well, and like not trying to focus on the negatives, because I'm pretty sure, it's all about my internal monologue of like not allowing myself to speak negative thoughts over myself. That's kind of what I'm changing. But then also in terms of, we were saying like you're not always necessarily confident before you do something that is out of your comfort zone. You have to kind of guide. For me, it's like I've got to already go out of my comfort zone, and then the confidence will come from that. Because otherwise, it's like I'm very much a comfort zone person, so I have to actively like move out of my comfort zone. So moving to London because I wanted to pursue this kind of career goal, like it doesn't come natural for me to do that. I would rather kind of just like go in on myself and just relax.
But how did you do that then?
I don't know. I guess it's like you're just challenging yourself to just like, you know that you kind of know like, okay, if I want to get to this place, I'm gonna have to take some risks.
I think even I remember like so when we were working together, and then like the build up of like, okay, I know I don't want to carry on doing this and I want to like pursue radio. I had this moment of like, I know I really actually do want to go after radio, and there's a lot of skills involved that I think I am actually good at, and I would be good at doing this if I like was trained and like had experience. So I think almost there was a part before of you recognizing and acknowledging the things that were life-giving to you, the things that brought all the things that people encouraged you in, all of that, which then led to like, oh, actually I think I want to do this. And then it's like the leap of faith, or it's a bit scary to think, okay, so I might actually have to do something about that, then I might actually have to go and get a degree, blah blah blah. But I guess when you're quite clear on what you know you want to do, there's more weight behind you like taking that step, because you're like,
it was more
even if it's difficult, I know I want to do it.
I've got a target now, which is what I didn't really have before, which is like, I think if you lack confidence, you don't always set yourself goals because you're not really sure you can reach them. But like you said, it's also when people recognise, hence why I'm saying like when people speak encouragement over me, I'm not just saying, oh, they say nice things to me, but it's like, oh, they encourage me in that situation, and they encourage me in that situation, like I can start to see
building a picture
where my strengths are.
And that's it. I think massively as well, it's about having people around you who are going to build you up. Like, you don't have to be feeling confident 100% of the time, because in an ideal world you'd have people around you that when you are lacking in confidence can actually speak truth over you and be like, no, you're good at this, you're good at that, because sometimes it can be so difficult to see it for yourself.
Realistically, everyone in some area of their life lacks confidence, but the only way that you can like allow people as well to kind of, or like a way that you can allow people to speak into it as well, is by telling people about it, like and being open and being honest. You know, those moments of where like you take like an insecurity or a fear or something to someone, and you're like, oh yeah, I feel like this, or I think I just did that really badly, and they're like, what? And you actually see like the shock on someone's face because you've like opened up about it, and they're like, I don't think that at all, and that is really like helpful in those moments.
It's pretty much like when you verbalise an insecurity or like an irrational thought, and then someone's like, what are you talking about, man?
Are you joking?
That's what I'm saying, like you don't build up the confidence, you don't just sort of muster up on yourself like, right, I'm just gonna feel more confident, like I mean,
I will be confident.
You can do the whole like power pose in the mirror and all that business, but I'm thinking of like the times I've kind of decided to make a step towards something is like because someone's probably said something over me.
Because I think especially when there's an area that you feel insecure in, you have such a warped lens on how you're actually doing in that thing, or the fact that it might actually be something you're good at. So that's where you do need the people to come in and actually almost give you the reality of how you are doing, or encourage you in it. I think I was just thinking then of like how confidence or things like this can almost seem, or you want it to seem like this quite linear thing. I wasn't confident. Now I am confident.
These are the steps to become more confident.
And I think I just think it's such like that. Like one day you're like, I feel really confident in this, feel really assured in myself. Wake up tomorrow and you're like, I'm rubbish at it, and like but it should be like a kind of slow building up, if that makes sense. So it's like you might have kind of highs and lows of confidence, but I'd say over time, even if it's a low, it's not as low as a low 2 years. Does that make sense? Like you're kind of working towards like just being more assured
like
in yourself.
The areas I guess that you've now stepped out in, like even think of like the sport example, like football. do you now feel like more confident in those areas, or is it still like quite up and down, or like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's so the example I'm talking about is basically I joined a six-a-side team with my friends, even though I know I'm not good at football, and like I wasn't really keen to join, but they kind of encouraged me, and I was like, oh, I'm either gonna like sit with this insecurity for like a long time and regret not joining, or I'm just gonna go along and be slightly bad, but it'll be fun. And it's literally that. I'm not very good, but it's fun. And but I think it's like, it's a small example of like, I don't necessarily now feel like, great, I'm so good at football now, I feel confident in football, but I've also just like removed like the sting of the insecurity of like, well, even if I'm not that good, I don't care because no one's judging me while I'm there. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm actually having lots of fun.
And honestly, the buzz you get off that, like just generally when you're super fearful about something or just insecure,
and you just do it anyway.
And you find like the strength to just be like, no, I'm just going to do it. Like, even though it's really hard in that process, the feeling afterward, you're like,
screw you.
You remove the sting of it by just kind of making it a humorous thing of like, oh well, like, I don't actually care now. I made this big thing in my head of like, it's going to be a bunch of like big lads and I'm going to not pass it well, and they go like, you are rubbish, get off the pitch, everyone, get off the pitch. I'll go home crying. But actually it's like, it's nothing like that, it's just good fun.
I think that's the other thing with like insecurity and when you're fearful, it's like also like, it's so, like you run away with it in your head. Like you go down absolute tunnels of like, everyone's looking at me. Like it's quite like internal.
People don't care
like,
enough about you.
Yeah, you're like everyone's gonna like.
You know, you go to the gym for the first time, you're like, gosh, everyone's looking at me. Like,
you wish, mate. Like I'll think about this where it's like, I don't know, like
you do something.
You'll be saying something and then you'll like fumble your words, whatever. As if anyone's gonna go home like, do you remember this morning when Soph went to say it and she actually said is.
You're like,
do you know what I
can you
mean?
imagine going back home like, honestly guys, there was a guy at the gym, you should have seen him, he was barely lifting a thing. I don't know what his name was.
Even, and if you are saying things like that, focus on your own workout, mate. Like, you know
it just doesn't happen. So it is, as I said, it's like the word my therapist uses, catastrophizing. Where you're like making a worst case scenario out of something that's not going to be like that.
That is true.
But you do have to like constantly like remind yourself, because as I said, there's still things in my life where I am like, it feels like a big insecurity. Like I'm like, I can't approach that yet.
It is real though. To push through fear is really hard. Like it actually is.
But I think, like we've been saying, that is what you have to do to counteract the insecurity, the fear, the lack of confidence. It's like you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way.
And there's
otherwise, it just
timing
becomes
in it,
a
isn't
thing.
there? Like where it's like, like you have conversations with friends. You might have counselling. You like. There's all these tools
levels,
that can help you. But then I think, like you said, it gets to the moment where you're just like, have to do it. Like I have to move to London. I have to like even with you, Max, like it's like sometimes when the choice is taken away, where it's actually kind of like to pursue a career in radio, like I really probably do need to go and do this course. I have to go. And it's like, right, there's the like motivation you need.
Yeah. Jacob told me something yesterday. Jacob's my cousin and a good friend of the
channel.
But
the channel.
He told me this helpful way of thinking about it, which he just learned, which is like, you have like your comfort zone, and then the more things you do, the greater your comfort zone kind of grows. So gradually you're becoming more comfortable doing more things. But if you do less things, your comfort zone basically contracts. And so if you, I don't know, you're
Jacob Avard.
You spend a lot of time, I don't know, you're quite isolated or whatever, and you're like, well, I'm not going to go out and do this now. I'm actually now feeling too scared to go to the, I don't know, the sports club I used to go to, or the book group. And then gradually your comfort zone becomes smaller and smaller. So like the more you kind of step out, it's not like everything becomes like an unknown to you, but actually your comfort zone becomes bigger.
That is a really good way to
that's a nice way of thinking about it.
I'm sure we could all think back to stuff that we've done now, where if you told me 5 years ago you're going to do that, I'd be like, no, I'm not. But because it's been like a gradual, like, oh, I've done this, which means I have more confidence to do that and that and that. But you can't go from 0 to 100, but you can definitely
I mean, I literally have that where I'm
like,
I'll be like walking around London, I'm like, flipping move to London. And I'm like, you know,
I'm in London now.
I got that music, I'm like, yeah, I'll move to London on my own, like, that's my own decision. And
listening to a bit of Lily Allen.
Yeah, probably,
Sky, oh,
yeah. But you're legit like, oh, I actually did do this, and I actually and you find yourself in situations where you're like, oh, I actually like put myself out there.
Sometimes I think about that with you, where I'm like, you did just move, like,
I know,
away from everyone, all your friends.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
By the end of this video,
Yeah.
I'm coming back.
I'm coming
Max
back to
has taken the
Birmingham.
next step of confidence in coming back.
My comfort zone's contracting.
If someone's watching this and they are struggling a lot with confidence, like it feels overwhelming, they're like, my comfort zone's shrinking, what would you say to them?
It's been a long pause because I've been trying to get my one thing. I'm going to reiterate what I already said, which is like, you're not going to feel confident usually before you do something.
Yeah.
Usually you're just going to have to be like, right, I'm super scared, super anxious maybe, but I'm just going to go and do it. It's kind of, it sounds counterintuitive because like, well, you're telling me to do something even though I feel scared to do it. But you, realistically, you're going to have to just do it. And then from there you'll be like, oh, I did it. And like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm here now.
The comfort zone.
And the
That
comfort
is
zone
good.
increases until your comfort zone's so big.
Nothing is uncomfortable for me. I'm always comfortable.
Yeah, it's worth saying I don't think you'll ever get to that point.
No.
Oh no. No.
I don't know.
This is what I'm saying. I started the video saying I'm a
After
6
this
out,
video?
6 out of 10 on
Yeah,
confidence.
6 out of 10.
You know, hopefully in a few years' time, I can move to a 7. And then by the end of my life, I'm looking at a solid 9.
But the thing is though,
10 if I'm
will
lucky.
you actually go up? Because surely the scale is like,
Yeah.
as
You
the
know,
comfort zone increases.
Yeah, because this year's 6 will be next year's 4.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Whoa. I don't want anyone to watch this and think we're saying, you're feeling confident? Just go and do something.
Yeah.
It's like
I
this-
had counselling, guys.
Same.
But like, there's scales to like. There's some
Yeah.
things that you might be at a point where it's like, okay, I can just. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but I could take that step and do
Yeah.
it. There's some things where you're like, no way,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a longer process to
Yeah.
get to that point of being able to then do the thing to then counteract
Yeah.
the insecurity, whatever it is.
We're not trying to diminish where people may feel scared of things or where things actually induce a lot of anxiety at all. That's been very real for each of us.
Yeah.
But you don't want to stay in that place.
No.
So where and how you can make little steps towards growing in confidence is a good thing to do.
Yeah. Boom.
Right, well, there we go. Thank you, Max.
Pleasure doing business with you. Drive you home now.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys. If you'd like to see more of me on the channel, I hope not, but I can do if you want me to. Like, if I want to start my own side channel, like, good idea guys, Soph, Rach and Max channel, or just like Max channel. Put in the comments. I don't know.
Just let us know what you think's more catchy, like Max or Soph, Rach and Max. What we're gonna say is watch this space because Max Avon Media is
Bro,
popping
you're
off.
gonna see him on your TV screens.
Also,
Your
I'm
TikTok
telling you here,
screens.
guys, we won't be able to pin him down for a video for much
So
longer.
we had to get him now.
You're listening to Soph and Rach FM. This is Max Avard. Coming up
Soph
next,
and Rach FM.
Dua Lipa. Yeah? Bit of that, innit? Bit of that, a little bit of that.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And we'll see you in the next one.